Kristi Gustafson Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com. And welcome to 20 Things Plus, where each week we catch up with somebody previously featured in the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today we are joined by Albany County District Attorney David Soares. David is in his 16th year as the District Attorney, and he just won his 5th term. So I'll say welcome, and I will also say congratulations, David.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Nice to see you again.
You too, and thank you for joining us on what is, I know, a busy time and a busy week. So what we're going to do first is you'll update us on a couple of your original 20 things, and then we'll learn a few new things about you as well. So let's start with the fact, I know when we met you originally, you talked about how right after you married your wife, Stacy, you had a heart attack. And I know you've been working on your heart health ever since. How's that going?
You know, it's great. It's a little humbling. You know, you can't go and grab what you want anymore and put it in your mouth, and you know, you have to open up. I have a pill box, just like my mom, who's 92. So my mom and I are, you know, we both have pill boxes. So not the best look, but also necessary. And I'm grateful for being here.
And you were only in your 40s, I think, when you had that heart attack, right?
Oh yeah, there's nothing like putting your brand new wife through the ringer. It was a test, you know. I mean, she said for better, for worse, so I thought I'd get the jump on it and bring it up.
Sickness and in health, you went right into sickness.
Yeah.
All right, so David, tell us what you've been doing, either what foods you've been avoiding or what activities you've been doing that may not be your favorite, but that you're doing in honor of your heart health.
Well, I have. I'm surrounded by some of the greatest villains on planet. These are the guys that I work out with. Yeah, I work out with the great villains on planet Earth, and I have to tell you how the original interview that we did has hurt my standing in the gym with those guys. But we push each other. I love these guys. I look forward to our early morning workouts, and then I just have to try not to get beaten by my kitchen. So I'm succeeding in the gym, and it's a tough fight in the kitchen.
What's calling you in the kitchen?
I'm like Yogi Bear during COVID, and I'm stuck in the cave with like all of these picnic baskets. And working from home with a refrigerator that seems to speak the language of love, it's a challenge. And so staying away from, you know, the salt, the cheeses, the sweet things, it's hard. It's hard.
Right, but you're working on it, and I like that. So then your next one in your original 20 things, you quoted, "With great power comes great responsibility." And obviously, like I said, you were just elected to your 5th term. You have a lot of power, and you also have a lot of responsibility. And like anyone, obviously, sometimes people agree with you, and sometimes they don't. So talk to us about how you've been dealing with this going into what will be your 17th year as district attorney.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, first of all, as a prosecutor involved in law enforcement and as a Black man, you know, in this moment right now, this has been the most challenging period for me personally. You know, I certainly, in my life, I've experienced some of the same things that a lot of other African-American men experience. But I got into this world to change it and fix it. And so you're saddened when you see the events that we're seeing all across the country, and you realize, okay, there's so much more work that needs to be done, right? I mean, we need to be trained better. We need to, you know, understand what implicit bias really means and how it can affect your system. We also have to deal with racism. I mean, racism isn't the kind of thing that it's not new. We can put all these words in front of it, you know, whether it's institutional or what have you, but racism comes in one flavor. And so I think right now the responsibility is not only to hold accountable the people who are committing crimes, but also to commit more to working on the system in much broader ways. And as far as, you know, some of the other responsibilities that we have, I've learned to cope with COVID and being locked up and working from home by volunteering more with Feed Albany, which is one of the most amazing organizations. You know, Yonos and Savoy's getting food together. I've been in the kitchen. I've been in these kitchens helping to cook. We have some amazing people who volunteer and work and put that food together, and then just delivering it to people and meeting people in their homes, in their space. Just you feel grateful for what it is that you have. And the other thing that it does is it teaches you not to feel sorry for yourself, because there are others that are just experiencing so much worse.
So that's a good point. And that actually brings us, that was one of your first updates, was about what you've been doing the last, let's say 10 months, is besides work, but you're in your kind of your side and personal life. And I know you've been volunteering and you've been helping with Feed Albany. What are you doing? Are you driving the trucks? Are you joining Yorgo and Dominic in the kitchen, or what are you doing exactly?
Well, you know something? So I'm this, like, I love shows. Like when I try to get away from my world as much as possible when I'm home and I'm enjoying my privacy. So I like, Chef Ramsay. I like all those shows where they go and teach new recipes. So the opportunity to get into a kitchen with Dominic and Jason, it was like, what a treat. And then the idea of like getting into a truck and just going from one place to another place to deliver food, it was an amazing experience. And it's something that I continue to reach out to these guys and say, hey, look, I'll do this for you on Saturday if you want. Because it's just something so different from what I do. And I really enjoyed that.
And I'm guessing, you're a familiar face. You've had this role for a long time. People recognize you, whether it's from being around the city or, in the media. What do people think when the truck opens and here comes the district attorney? Or do they ever make comments? Do they want a picture with you? Are they surprised?
Oh yeah, we do that, and it's fun for me. And you know what? I really think that that's the kind of stuff that we just have to do more of, because I shouldn't be in someone's life only when there's chaos, crime, and police. Just like my colleagues in law enforcement, I think we need to avail ourselves in community in the most, spontaneous and interesting way. So that way we're not always associated with trauma, and I love that. I love, it is a surprise for people, and it's kind of funny when they realize.
Well, that's nice, and I'm glad you're doing that. And I think you do have a good point. It's when the people in those roles kind of are immersed in the community, it makes everybody feel more connected to one another as well. All right, so for your next thing, you have been doing some COVID safe activities outdoors and things like that. Have you taken up any hobbies, or what exactly have you been doing, again, outside of work, outside of Feeding Albany? What have you been doing the last couple of months?
Well, the last couple of months have been, interesting for me with a campaign and trying to respect people's spaces. That has been an interesting challenge. You can't go knocking on people's doors and engaging people. But there's been a lot of opportunities. There's a young lady who was a Glenmont resident. Her name is Stacy Kraft. And, Stacy got all these kids together, and these kids were painting, these pieces of wood in honor. They would honor firemen and police. So we had an opportunity to engage with them. For me personally, it's been yard work. I'm not good at it, and I have pine needles, so trying to grow grass, I literally go outside in my yard and look to see if my grass is growing, which drives my wife nuts. But just doing projects around the house. We built a side deck this year, and so that's kept me busy. And working from home and being home more freaks the dog out, because Lily's like, "What? Why are you here? And why are you in your socks?" So it's just been an interesting change, something we're trying to all adapt to.
And having a side deck has to be nice too, because it gives you additional living space. So you can be outdoors, and you can whether be doing work or socializing and things like that, and be doing that outdoors.
Yeah, I have to say that all of this experience over the course of the last 6 months has just taught me, and I think it's teaching all of us to reevaluate things. I don't know the next time I'm going to go on a cruise. And I'm originally from Rhode Island, so by this time in any year, I would have gone back and forth to Pawtucket, probably 30 times, because I love going to see my friends. And not, being connected in that way has just really taught me to enjoy the spaces that I have. Of course, my wife Stacy's forced me to, change a lot of things around the house. So she's getting a Peloton bike, which is the most exciting thing for her this week. So I'm going to be doing more work in the kitchen because I'm enjoying cooking. I got brand new knives, awesome knives. And so I'll be cutting things in the kitchen and then going downstairs and riding a bike.
I was just going to say, and then getting on the Peloton to burn off all the good things that you've cooked. All right, and then we
Yeah.
have one more update from you. And I like this because you just said that you've found new ways to be connected, but you've also been a little disconnected, like from your friends and family in Rhode Island. But what have you learned kind of from a technology standpoint, and what have you been doing over the last 10 months? Because I know for people who have never really used Zoom or Google Meet or whatever, it's now all of a sudden, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah. So, so look, just to be perfectly clear, I'm from the Jerry curl, breakdancing, big boombox, cassette, right? Vinyl albums, you scratch, right? That's me. That's my generation. And I'm now living in this world where, you're hitting buttons, you're talking to people, you're connecting with video, without video. You don't know what. And now, like your background, that is a beautiful, beautiful background, but look at me, like
I'm in my daughter's room.
well,
But yes, thank you.
it's awesome. It's bright and it says something. And I don't account for those things. So I could literally, click a button and it's like I got dirt, I got laundry and towels behind me, and it's when it's my mom or when it's my sisters, I'm the youngest in the family, so I still get treated like I'm the youngest in the family, um, there's no politeness there. So connecting with my family and staying connected with my family, it's been pretty interesting watching all of us struggling with technology.
So when you need tech help, who's the number one person you go to? Is there anybody younger than you in the family to turn to?
There's a young man who he's my homeboy. His name is Alex Mock, and Alex Mock is my boy. He is like on speed dial, boom, and he gets me where I need to get. And then there's Heather Worth and Cecilia from my office as
Your
well.
office.
I call and I'm like, hey, and they're so nice and generous. They have kids of their own, but they take the time to deal with the biggest problem child, which I believe is.
And I will say, just getting this interview in place, we saw the technology challenges, and I'm glad we're here and I'm glad we were able to do it. But we hit some roadblocks along the way as far as technology goes. So I witnessed it firsthand.
I'm so sorry. I'm
No.
sorry.
It's okay. I'm just glad we were able to do it. And at this point in the interview, we play a little game where I am going to give you 3 clues to guess who will be featured on Monday's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. So that's the version like you did originally. It's somebody you haven't met yet, and it will go live on timesunion.com at 7 a.m. Monday. I'll give you 3 clues. Try to take a guess. If that doesn't give it, maybe I'll give you a bonus clue. Are you ready?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. Before my career in news, I was a licensed cosmetologist in California. I cut hair, did color and extensions to pay for my college expenses. So the person works in news. Put that up here and remember.
Yep.
The first time I ever saw Donald Trump in person was when he showed up for jury duty in New York City. At the time, I was a TV news photographer, and I was trying to balance my book bag and camera while getting a close-up of then candidate Trump. So apparently he was on jury duty when he was a candidate.
Oh.
And I picked that one for you because obviously it's related to law. All right, and then this is the third one. This year is the first time I've worn braids on air. Traditionally, I wear my hair straight or curled and thought I'd try something new. The first night of my new look, I had to sleep on my face because the braids were so tight. So do you have any clues? I'll give you one more hint. She's interviewed you before.
Ooh. See, when you said cosmetology and then law, the first person I thought of was Craig Apple, our sheriff.
You know what? If you have, I've been bugging him for 4 years to get onto 20 things, and he keeps promising me. So, but it's not him.
Eyes just, they're. Oh, the guy. Oh, trust me. There's 20 things I can tell you about him. I'm so clueless. Okay,
well, everyone will have to turn to timesunion.com on Monday to see who it is that we're featured. But there's your hint. She's a woman. She's in local news. She's been up close and personal with then candidate, now President Trump. And she wore braids the last year in her hair on air. And she's awesome. And her 20 Things is incredibly funny and worth checking out on Monday. So thank you so much.
I will definitely be here. I'll be here.